Hey, how's it going? I saw this flat Earth meme here, and it just sort of inspired me to try to see if I could make a water simulator thing using some kind of simplified particles. I don't think I could do that, or if I tried, it would take many hours. I'm hoping that ChatGPT just knows how to do that offhand. But I'm not going to tell it what I'm doing. I'm just going to say, hey, simulate these things. So let's go here. Switch over to the O1. Oh, it's already on O1. Hey, I would like to make a particle simulator where the rendered particles represent water. So they should be very low viscosity, but still can fill containers. This should be somewhat similar to a sand simulator. I've seen. Okay. But there's a twist. I want each particle to experience gravity separately based on a function that I define. Okay. For the first example, the gravity can be uniform acceleration down, but I want to alter it later to simulate gravity in the center. Write a Pygame script to simulate particles at the number of particles be customizable and expose the gravity function clearly. Yeah. I need to be able to add rigid bodies that don't move, that particles can't pass through. Lines, and a circle. That are placed before the simulation. Please write code. Please return Python code. So I want to be able to place these bodies and define my own gravity function and then see, like, I mean, I don't think that I need to explain why this is ridiculous. The difference in gravity over something of this distance would be so minuscule that it would be like a rounding error. Here, let's get a new window here. What is the circumference of the Earth? Oh my god, my spelling. Okay, so the circumference of the Earth is 24,901 miles. So let's see. 24,901 miles equals question mark inches. Oh, God. Okay. Really, really big. So it would be this number here divided by 360 degrees. You know. So like the angle would just be absolutely ridiculously small. So we have what? This for every 360 degrees. No. 360 degrees divided by inches times what? Let's be generous and say that the cup is 5 inches. I don't think it's that much. Equals how many degrees? Oh, that did not... Okay, so 1 times 10 to the negative 6. So the angle of gravity difference in the cup is less than, or no, not less. It is slightly bigger than 1/millionth of a degree. I think that the air would deform it more than that. This is a pretty ridiculous straw man. So anyways, I mean, that's what I mean when I say it's a rounding error. Yeah, sure, I could make a gravity function that differed by 1/1,000,000th of a degree over, you know, the entire surface. It's a waste of time. Alright, the Earth, I know that. Okay. You think this thing is going to work? I do not know. So, paste. Let's see what it does. Run. Module not found, Pygame. That's kind of odd. Did it create a new VENV? Oh, it did. Okay, that makes sense then. Alright. Boom. Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Well, it's almost beautiful. Run. There seems to be a problem. It sort of works. There seems to be a problem where the water will pass through the line. It should pool above any surface it can't escape from. In the case of a horizontal line, it should run off the edges, but not through. Is that what it did? Did it run off the edges and I'm just confused? No. No, it definitely went straight through. Yeah, there is tunneling. That's exactly what the problem is. Sorry, I'm not quite Devon levels yet. If I were, you could only interact with me through Slack. Okay, let's replace what we have here and see what it does. Oh, look at that. And look, it does continue to run off of the edges. That is absolutely beautiful. Now, let's attempt to create a cup. So, let's see, where's our lines? We can iterate multiple times in case adjusting one line puts us into another. Line. You know what, let's find the circle instead. Circle obstacle. I'm going to move it higher. Let's say 50. So I'm not actually getting rid of it. I'm just getting it out of the way. Boom. So now to simulate a cup, we will want a horizontal line near the bottom. Yeah, I don't think we want it to be quite this big. You know what? This big is fine. Slanted line, and then we want another slanted line. So this is going to be, it'll end at 100, 500. And I'm going to put a pretty tall wall on the side here. So it'll only go 50, and then, you know what? That's probably fine. And then this one is going to end at 700, 500, and then it would be 750, 300. That's why it's angry. Let's see what that does. Okay, so that's our cup, right? All right. Now, how many particles do we have? Number of particles. It's probably going to run very slow. Oh, dear. We still had tunneling there. Okay. I tried to radically increase the number of particles, and the tunneling problem got worse. If it's running too slowly, then the simulation needs to slow down. Preferring correctness to timing. Also, it seems like the water can't stack vertically when I create a glass-shaped barrier. If you really only get 10 of these queries a week, I'm probably going to max it out. Never done that before. Okay, they're adding a particle radius. It would make sense if they modeled the particles as being infinitely thin. Yeah, they would render themselves infinitely thin. That makes sense. Oh, don't crap out. I don't mean that. Okay. Now, if we can get a working simulation down, then we should be able to modify the gravity. All right, let's see what this does. Okay, run. Let's try it with the reduced particle count. Maybe 500 really is enough. Okay. All right, I think this is what we need. Track the particle's old position and propose new position with each time step. Okay. I'm not paying $200 a month. Oh, look at that. It does kind of stick where it was. That's an unfortunate side effect. It's still crossed. Well, I'm starting to lose faith here. I mean, true, if you were talking about things on a molecular scale, you would expect things to cross even if something were perceived as solid. But for my simplified experiment, I want, you know, walls and glasses to be solid. Yeah, where's the circle? Circle obstacle. Let's get that out of the way. There has to be some sort of compromise here. Okay. So let's move this closer to the center. 100, 500. Yeah, 100 to 700. We don't need that. So 300 to 400. 300 to, oh, this is the, where's the horizontal? 300, 300, and then I wonder if we could go back to the old version. This one's just making me sad. Just call it quantum tunneling. What was this one? Let's get rid of the lines here. There's no lines, and the circle obstacle is going to be effectively off the screen. Then what does it do? Boom. Oh, that is beautiful. Yeah, it seems to be the obstacles that it's struggling with particularly. So let's go use uniform gravity. Now, where is this defined? Here. Gravity radial. Go to declaration. Nice. So use uniform gravity false. Let's see what this does. Okay, it should accelerate towards a point. Okay, that is not what I was expecting. Okay, that was interesting. Gravity radial, go to declaration, window width, window height, center 0. Okay. I think when it gets too close, I think that they're modeling it as a point rather than as like a sphere. And I think that the strength needs to be mapped, or not mapped, capped. I don't think my gravity function is working correctly. There should be uniform, should be relatively uniform acceleration toward the center of the screen for 100 pixels out, and then decreasing acceleration toward the center after that to simulate a planet. Yeah, if it's 100 of radius, 50 pixels. Please return updated method. Oh, I meant to switch this to, oh well, whatever. If I cap it out, I cap it out. I'm not too worried. Could always use an API call if it truly needed to. Let's see what that does. Okay, that kind of went crazy when it hit the center before. It should sort of coalesce into sort of a ball. I mean, that's the effect that I would expect gravity to have. Yeah, it is slowly approaching equilibrium. I think this is kind of cool looking. The tumultuous early Earth. Oh, look at how round that is. Oh, that's pretty. You know, if I wanted it to be more accurate, I should have every single particle exhibiting its own gravity and then just allow the clumping to form. There was supposed to be a sphere at the center. I just haven't gotten rid of the tunneling yet. Okay. Let's see. Circle. How does this work? Is this the center or is this the edge? Well, let's just do 400, 300. 400, 300, 50. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Look at this code. I have a problem with tunneling. If a particle of water is found inside of the circle, then it should be hard moved to outside the circle. In the direction from which it originally came. Okay. Okay, if a particle of water is found inside of the circle, then it should be hard moved to outside of the circle in the direction from which it originally came. And its acceleration reset to 0. Check to make sure the drawn circle is the center of gravity as expected. Set all particles to have an initial velocity that is randomly assigned, so they scatter and then coalesce. Is that the right word? Coalesce from gravity layer. Okay, updated code snippet. copied it before it was done. How impatient could I possibly be? I remember when I was 8 years old, I wrote a 300-line program, and I just thought that was the longest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. Okay, there we go. All right. This is actually doing pretty much exactly what I wanted it to do, so that's kind of awesome. So we have things floating around. They get attracted by a center of gravity, and then they, kind of make a roundish whatever. Hey, this is kind of cool. I'm glad I did this. So, I mean, sure, maybe it's a bit of a simplification, but this is somewhat in line with my understanding of how gravity and particles work. If they encounter something like a hard rock surface, they don't tunnel through it, but they will continue to accelerate in the direction that gravity is pulling them. As far as I'm concerned, this image has not convinced me. I find this slightly more convincing. Now, this is a two-dimensional simulation. Obviously, we live in three-dimensional space, but, whatever. Well, I guess that's that.